especially for the readers of Social Evonet. I'm here with Graham Noseworthy, who is Strategic Messaging Director
Yeah.
at IBM. That's quite an interesting name and a new function, I guess. Not many companies do have that. Welcome to Sofia,
Thank you.
Graham. Could you tell us a little more about yourself and why you are here in Sofia, Bulgaria?
Sure. As a messaging director, my job is really to understand what big data and analytics mean to marketers, media, and entertainment companies, and make sure that I'm not only providing information about the products and services that IBM has to support them, but also what does big data and analytics mean to them. So I want to provide the thought leadership, the content, and the information that they need so that they can learn about how to apply these new and exciting technologies to actually improve the customer experience.
We are living in a world that is actually big data is overflowing everywhere.
Yeah.
We have faster internet. We are using more and more devices like tablets, mobile devices like tablets, like phones, and the data goes in warehouses, so to say. This is the big data. Could you tell us a little more what exactly does big data mean in regards to the possibility for the individual and in regard to the possibilities for the companies?
Sure. It's hard for organizations at times to really nail down one definition of big data because what it means to an organization like IBM could be totally different from what it means to another organization. Meaning that the size of the data set that they're working with, the types of technologies, and what it is, the use cases, what it is they're trying to do with it, is very different industry to industry, role to role, person to person. And I think what it is that we want people to understand is it's not about the speeds and feeds. It's about what it is, the difference you're trying to make, the process you're trying to change, the customer you're trying to get to know. So in my role, what I'm trying to do is help media and entertainment companies understand their audiences as individuals, be able to provide a better, smarter, more relevant experience back to them, and be able to maintain a very high level of privacy and security surrounding the data that's sensitive to consumers and customers.
And how can this big data and the analysis and the work with it within the companies help media companies and entertainment business? Could you give us some examples of good case scenarios, so to say?
Sure. So one that I'll actually be speaking about later today is demand forecasting. So for example, you have a movie company and they've made a significant investment in developing a movie. Now, years ago it was tens of millions. Now it can be hundreds of millions when we add up the production costs, the marketing costs, the distribution. And they need to have a very high level of accuracy to predict exactly how these movies are going to perform. So for example, on the opening weekend box office. And what we want to do is be able to apply predictive analytics to help them understand how their movies are going to perform. Now, it's one thing to know what a movie is going to do. That's good information.
Yes.
But to be able to understand why that movie is going to perform that way, what is the sentiment around that movie, what is the intent to watch. Now they can take that information and they can share it with marketing, so they can dial up and dial down their marketing on a national, regional, or very hyper-local level. And they can also begin to figure out where they're going to have a movie that performs or maybe a movie that doesn't perform so well. So they can start to shift their budgets accordingly. They can start to understand how their product is going to perform. And we can understand easily how this may apply not only to a large blockbuster movie, but to any type of content.
Exactly.
A movie, a video, a television show, a book, a new website. So I think being able to accurately forecast accurately forecast demand for their products and services is a good example. And then we can think about, that's the product side. Now we can think about the audience side. So understanding audiences at an individual level. And this goes beyond recommending a TV show. This goes into understanding who I am, where I am, what I want, what kind of experience do I want. Is that going to be a multi-screen experience? So if I'm watching a TV show, am I now using a tablet to go along with that show? So I think we can see that not only improving the products and the experiences, but understanding the audiences is an incredibly exciting opportunity for media and entertainment companies.
And what stands behind all this? How is this data crunched, so to say? And what's the role of IBM in facilitating this predictive analysis?
Sure. There's a lot of answers to that question.
Yes, there are.
Okay.
I agree.
So,
Just in short, maybe. I'm sorry.
I'll try to keep it to an hour. Well, I think the first thing to understand is that the source of the data is multifaceted. There's many, many different sources of data. First party, third party, linear, non-linear. If you're talking about cable and television distribution companies, there's set-top box and DVR data. So there's lots of different sources of data from inside and outside the enterprise. There's third-party data. There's television ratings and Nielsen data. There's all sorts of things like that. So the first thing that organizations have to do is identify all these data sources. Then, and this is where IBM can help get involved, is they need an advanced analytics platform like the Watson Foundation's platform that actually has the pieces in there to help them make sense of that data. So the data warehouse appliances that really allow the transformation of structured and unstructured data, the streams technology to pull what they need out of social media and leave the rest. There's predictive analytics, there's data visualization. So to actually create the profiles to understand the individuals, to actually marry that to the data, the high velocity real-time data, and then bring all of that into the analytics to actually begin to predict what we want. Consumers nowadays expect a very personalized, intelligent experience. And for a media and entertainment company to provide that means you have to have a lot of data, you have to have a lot of computing horsepower, and then you have to have the ability to provide that data inside the company to people who can make sense of it. And not everybody is a data scientist. So for the marketers and advertisers and producers that want to use that data, you need the visualization engine that allows them to actually do something functional with it.
Okay. And how is the role of the CMO changing in all this? It seems that with the new analytical possibilities that big data provides and the possibility in the future, more and more technology to be used to crunch numbers, so to say. How is the role of the Chief Marketing Officer changing in the marketing campaigns, in the budgeting, in the work with all this big data? Are they more involved?
Oh, they're absolutely more involved. The role of the Chief Marketing Officer is undergoing a substantial transformation, an evolution, really. And that's really spread across three areas. So chief marketing officers are collaborating with their chief technology and chief information and chief privacy and digital. And so all of the C-suite is coming together now to collaborate directly with marketing. And marketing is trying to understand customers as individuals. They want to create systems of engagement that use data at every touch point. And they're trying to create an experience that is, whether it's the brand or the culture or the products or the services, that's fun, that's consistent. No matter which way anybody chooses to interact with a brand, we have so many devices, so many channels, so many opportunities now to interact with brands that it has to be consistent across that. Certainly, social media is adding a level of complexity there.
Definitely.
That some organizations are really thriving at the opportunity of doing that. So, Chief marketing officers are learning the art of the possible, of blending creativity and data to fundamentally change the ways in which we interact with our brands.
Maybe my question was a little too pointed. My question was more like how is marketing changing with these new realities, with the possibilities that big data is providing for the planning of marketing campaigns, for the possibilities it is providing to reaching new customers with advertisements. There are so many new possibilities, so to say. How do you feel? Where is the marketing field going? with big data and with the analytics, of course. I'm sorry.
Sure. No. I had a colleague at IBM who once said that if algorithmic attribution was easy, everybody would be doing it.
True.
And it's not easy, but it's possible now. And now marketers have the ability to not only measure and optimize, which is a key word. If you're not hearing that every day in marketing, you're doing something wrong. And they have the ability to measure, to optimize, and to predict and to talk in ways in which we've never been able to do before. So marketers used to have 4 or 5 primary channels. Now we have anywhere from 25 to 30 primary channels in which we can speak to our audiences. So marketers are getting to do things that are incredibly exciting. And now marketers are able to move at much higher speed. So a media buy, which used to take weeks, to plan it all out, can now be done in milliseconds. So now we can really understand you as an individual. We can speak to you as an individual, and we can do it at real time when it really matters to you. And then we can measure the ROI coming out of that. So delivering on the 4 rights, right message, right person, right time, right price, is something that marketers can actually finally do. And it's creating tremendous opportunity and a lot of excitement.
That is all very well, but does that not create risks also?
Sure.
For the consumer and for everyone, and all this data, it has to be secure on one side, but in other side, the customer himself would not always say, okay, use all my data, but I want it to be secure.
Yeah. The discussion around the application of big data and analytics in marketing goes well past data security and privacy. That is absolutely an important topic, but that also involves the information teams and the technology teams. So that is important. What's more important is how you're applying the data. Are you doing it in a way that, I like to use the expression from creepy to cool. We want organizations to communicate with their audiences and let them know what it is we're going to do with their data, so that we can then take the information that consumers are giving us, and in more cases, they're giving it to us with their knowledge, and turn those insights into relevance. So we want to take what it is we can learn about our audiences and give it back in a way that improves their overall experience. We see a lot of companies making a shift towards being lifestyle companies. And if you want to be a lifestyle company, then that requires a lot of data, a lot of understanding about your audiences.
True.
And to really affect a person's lifestyle means that you're adding tremendous value. And to add value takes analytics. So you can see how privacy and security is important. I mean, data breaches are, that's something every organization should be concerned with, right?
True.
But in the end, it's also about, are you applying it in a way that adds value back to your audience, and are you affecting their lifestyle? And I think that's where the risk is, because you want to make sure that you're speaking to them in a way that feels good, that doesn't feel intrusive, and that's a challenge. That takes a lot of talent.
I would like to come back to the reason you are here and what exactly are you going to present to the Bulgarian audience today,
Sure.
later on.
Well, I've been meeting with customers and spending time with my fellow IBMers, which has been great to to really bring some of the knowledge that I have in the United States over here, which isn't necessarily better or worse, but it's different, and I think that I'm adding some value by bringing that. And then today, I want to dig into this notion of demand forecasting. I want to dig into the applications of big data in analytics and media and entertainment, and talk about how analytics, and especially predictive analytics, is an iterative process. It's something that gets better as you go on, and we can really learn some interesting and exciting things that we would never have had an opportunity to learn before if it wasn't for being able to apply these exciting technologies. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of those stories today.
Thank you very much. And maybe last questions, a few words to the readers of Social Evonet. What would you tell them about their future and what they should expect from big data and from analytics? Good times, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. This is very good times, very exciting. It's creating new avenues for exploration and data and new testing and marketing that we've never been able to do before. So I would encourage your readers to think big, but start small. Find some questions they want to get answered. Find something to do that they've never been able to do before. And find something that they never thought they could measure and measure it. And I think that's where we'll see some really, really exciting, very happy marketers making their senior officers quite proud.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.